It's your boy Mr. Potato coming at you with another spine-tingling episode. Don't forget to mash that like button and subscribe for more. Today, we're unraveling two true crime tales, one bizarrely humorous, the other deeply chilling. Ready to dive into the world of the weird and wicked? Buckle up, folks. Our first story today is as bizarre as it is funny, and it involves, yes you guessed it, garden gnomes. In the quiet, idyllic town of Willow Creek, a mystery was brewing. A mystery that would soon leave the entire community in stitches. The year was 2019. It was an ordinary summer, the sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the garden gnomes were disappearing. You heard it right, garden gnomes. Those little ceramic figures that stand guard over our flower beds and vegetable patches. They were being plucked from their posts under the cover of darkness, leaving behind nothing but empty spaces and a community scratching their heads. The first to notice were the Johnsons. They woke up one morning to find their beloved gnome, affectionately named Gerald, missing from his usual spot by the rose bush. Then the Petersons reported their gnome, Freddie, gone too. Before long it seemed nobody's gnome was safe. Now Willow Creek was a town where everyone knew everyone, and the missing gnomes became the talk of the town. The local newspaper even ran a headline, "Gnome Nappers on the Loose in Willow Creek." As the days turned into weeks, the count of missing gnomes reached into the dozens. The town was in a state of gnomeless despair, but the townsfolk weren't about to take this lying down. They rallied together, forming the Gnome Watch, a neighborhood patrol tasked with keeping an eye out for any suspicious activity. But despite their best efforts, the gnome nappings continued. It was as if the culprits were invisible, or perhaps they had some gnome-like magic of their own. Then, one day, a breakthrough. Mrs. Harper, an elderly resident known for her sharp eyes and love of mystery novels, noticed something strange in her neighbor's yard. It was early morning, and as she sipped her tea, she saw two teenagers sneaking around carrying what looked like... Could it be? Yes, it was! Garden gnomes! Armed with her trusty binoculars and a spirit of adventure, Mrs. Harper didn't hesitate. She followed the teenagers to an abandoned barn on the outskirts of town, and what she found inside was nothing short of astonishing. It was a gnome paradise. Hundreds of garden gnomes, all shapes and sizes, each arranged in meticulous order, creating a ceramic wonderland. It was as if every gnome from Willow Creek had found its way here. The mystery of the missing gnomes was solved. The culprits, as it turned out, were two high school students with a strange fascination for garden gnomes. They had been taking the gnomes as part of a summer prank. The news of the gnome hideout spread through Willow Creek like wildfire. The townsfolk, relieved and amused, decided to press no charges against the teenagers. Instead, they suggested the duo put their gnome-arranging talents to good use and organize a gnome festival for the town. And so, the Great Garden Gnome Heist of Willow Creek ended not with a trial but with a celebration. The Gnome Festival was a hit, bringing together the entire community for a day of fun, laughter, and of course, gnomes. The teenagers, once the gnome nappers, were now the gnome heroes. And the gnomes? Well, they returned to their posts, standing guard over Willow Creek's gardens once more. But now, they had a story to tell, a story of adventure and mischief, a story that would be passed down from gnome to gnome for generations to come. And that, my friends, is the tale of the Great Garden Gnome Heist. Bet you never thought garden gnomes could cause such a ruckus, huh? From garden gnome shenanigans, we now delve into a darker and more chilling tale. A sinister story, cloaked in mystery and shrouded in fear, awaits us. An eerie secret from the heart of Smithville. Are you ready to step into the shadows? Because this next story is not for the faint of heart. In the quiet town of Smithville, a sinister secret lived behind closed doors for years. Now, Smithville is your typical small-town America. Picture white picket fences, Sunday church services, and a community where everyone knows everyone. But behind this idyllic facade, a nightmare was brewing, one that would shake this tight-knit community to its core. Our tale begins with the Johnson family, the epitome of the Smithville ideal. John Johnson, the town's beloved school principal, his wife Martha, a respected nurse, and their two children, Emily and Tim. To the outside world, they were the perfect family. But the Johnsons had a secret, one that was as chilling as it was unimaginable. It all started on a cold winter's night when a strange noise echoed through the Johnson house. A scratching sound, faint but distinct, coming from the basement. Now, a less observant person might have dismissed it as the house settling or perhaps a stray animal. But Martha, being a nurse, had sharp instincts, and something about that sound didn't sit right with her. She decided to investigate. As she descended into the basement, the scratching became louder, more frantic. She reached the bottom step, switched on the light, and what she saw next would haunt her for the rest of her days. There, in the corner of the basement, huddled a young girl, no older than 10. She was emaciated, her clothes tattered, her eyes filled with an unspeakable terror. Martha was horrified. She immediately called the police, and within minutes, the quiet town of Smithville was swarming with sirens. The girl was identified as Lily, a local girl who had gone missing 2 years prior. The town had searched high and low, but there had been no trace of her, no leads until that fateful night. Lily had been living in the Johnsons' basement, unbeknownst to anyone. The shocking revelations didn't stop there. The investigation revealed that John Johnson had been the one to abduct Lily. He had kept her hidden in the basement, away from his family, away from the prying eyes of the world. The town was in disbelief. How could the respected school principal, the loving father and husband, be capable of such a horrifying act? As the news spread, Smithville was plunged into a state of shock and despair. The town's idyllic image was shattered, replaced by a grim reality that no one could have anticipated. Parents held their children a little tighter, neighbors looked at each other with suspicion, and the trust that once held this community together was irreparably broken. In the aftermath, John Johnson was arrested and charged with kidnapping and a slew of other crimes. He was sentenced to life in prison, a small solace for the immense suffering he had caused. Lily, on the other hand, faced a long road to recovery. She was taken into the care of the state and underwent extensive therapy to help her cope with her traumatic ordeal. Her resilience was a beacon of hope for the town, a symbol of strength in the face of unimaginable adversity. The sinister secret of Smithville served as a grim reminder of the dark underbelly that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most idyllic towns. It was a wake-up call, a lesson in vigilance, and a testament to the human spirit's resilience. The Johnson house, once a symbol of the American dream, now stood as a chilling monument to the town's dark past. Its white picket fence was a stark contrast to the sinister secret it once held within its walls. Life in Smithville eventually returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the memory of the sinister secret remained, a ghost that lingered in the town's collective memory. The residents of Smithville moved forward, but they never forgot. They couldn't. The sinister secret had changed them, changed their town forever. And that was the sinister secret of Smithville, a grim reminder that sometimes the most horrifying monsters live among us. Phew, what a roller coaster of emotions, right? We've traversed the absurdity of the Great Garden Gnome heist, then plunged into the chilling depths of the sinister secret of Smithville. I hope these tales have intrigued, entertained, and perhaps given you pause for thought. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more mind-boggling tales from the underbelly of reality. Remember, it's your boy Mr. Potato, signing off and reminding you to keep your garden gnomes close and your secrets closer. Until next time.